Hi guys, DriverLadyPro. The reason why they call me DriverLadyPro is because I drive like a boss, but I'm classy like a lady. So guys, if this is your first time here, make sure you hit that little notification bell and the subscribe so you can get more content like this, and make sure you give me a thumbs up. Now listen, today's video is, do you think that yesterday when they had their protests in LA that it was effective? Now, this is what I think, because so far we don't have anybody in the room. If you join the room, just be aware that this is a live stream video. I have to make sure I get with my peeps. I try to get with my peeps every night. So we are talking about Uber and Lyft tonight, and they decided just recently to lower the rates for the LA community. But if any of y'all know, they did their rate lowering here in Chicago a while back, and we were all ticked off. And just recently, one of my buddies in Baton Rouge, in Louisiana, was upset because they lowered his rates just before they did this with LA. Just before Christmas was when they lowered their rates here in Chicago. We got a lovely Christmas present and got lower rates here in Chicago. And now everybody is like around 60 cents a mile, and a little bit more per minute rate. But, you know, everybody knows that's not enough. So, everybody's ticked off, but, we have been at this, demonstrating thing here in Chicago for quite a while, for at least like a year now. There's a grassroots organization called the Chicago Rideshare Advocates, and we've been doing demonstrations to gain more traction. We've been shaking hands with politicians. We have been doing demonstrations at City Hall. We did one in front of Uber. I've done videos about them. We did one at the O'Hare Airport. We've gotten all kinds of media coverage. Now, we didn't get nowheres near the media coverage that we got, that LA got. But the point of the matter is, we need to strike while it's hot, and I'm pressuring the Chicago rideshare advocate community to get on the stick, and we need to get something. We need to jump on board with these guys. If Chicago rideshare advocates doing a demonstration or a protest or some sort here in the Chicago area in conjunction with what's going on with LA, that will help to bring more light to what is going on with us. So right now we're going up for election of the mayoral candidate. We have two mayoral candidates. They're both black women, and we've been talking with them. We've been working with them, trying to get an ear, let them know what's going on for us as rideshare drivers, especially because rideshare drivers are here in Chicago. That is the largest job. It's the, I mean, there's like 70 to 80,000 drivers in Chicago alone. That's the largest employer. Uber and Lyft are our largest employer in Chicago alone. And so when you talk about 70 to 80,000 people relying on these types of issues come to the forefront, and they're right up in the forefront. You have 70 to 80,000 children relying on their moms or dads to be breadwinners, to get some extra cash, or to bring home the bacon. Some people are full-time, some are part-time, but everybody is trying to get somebody to make some money in their house. So these are very important issues for Chicago. Now, if about Chicago, recently we had Lakeshore Drive, the bridge on Lakeshore Drive broke, and they blamed all the rideshare drivers. And of course, having tons of extra drivers on the road because Uber and Lyft are saturating the market, and that has been a big problem for us. So we are trying to get things changed here in our community. So far we're trying to do whatever we can do to get things changed. We've been shaking hands, talking to people, talking to the media. We've worked with the media several times, both in English and in Spanish. We have a pretty good sized group. Now, I wouldn't say we're as big as the amount of people that were at LA. LA is a pretty big city. But we do have quite a bit of people that are here to pack a punch. Now, a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's not very many drivers." Okay. A lot of times it's 10% of the people doing 90% of the work and 90% of the people doing 10% of the work. That is very atypical when you have this type of situation going on in the whether it's in a ride sharing community or whatever. You have that type of situation going on. There's always going to be more people just out driving. And I did watch like other live stream videos that were talking about how I think Driving with Dustin said, there were people people demonstrating, and then there were still people driving and picking people up around the demonstrators. And I did see something saying just down the road they were signing people up for Lyft. Now, do not let this dishearten you, folks. This is not to dishearten you at all. This is that's a typical normal thing. The idea that we didn't shut down traffic, things didn't, the whole city didn't come to a halt because a couple, like a 1,000 rideshare drivers decided to turn off their app. The idea is that they're actually doing something, and they're beginning somewhere. They're not sitting on their couch. I've seen so many times where I've gone on Twitter and people said, blackout for the day, and all they were doing is like advertising on Twitter. And that is not going to get you anything. Sitting on your couch doing a protest is not going to do anything. Let's black out for a day. Okay, we have to do something constructive. And my personal belief is that just shutting down or just shutting your apps off is not going to be enough. You have to come up with other constructive things to do to get things rolling. So anyway, so far nobody's coming in the room. I don't know what's going on. If I don't have somebody come in the room in like the next minute or so, I'm gonna shut this bugger down, and then I'm gonna figure out what's going on. If it's unlisted or something, I put it as public. Usually I have tons of people hitting me up. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to call it quits, guys.